राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यामुनतीरा वनचारे यामुनतीरा वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि Hare Krishna. Welcome once again, dear devotees, to this series of presentations on the crooked pathways of Prema. Yesterday, I have already given a small introduction, and I have said that the backdrop is very suitable because the branches are all crooked, and the speaker is also crooked, and the topic is also crooked, dear devotees. So we have a good combination, but all of you are very simple hearted. So it is needed that we perform Mangalacharan because it is a slightly difficult topic, and in order to understand it, we need the blessings of the Guru Parampara, previous Acharyas, and Bhagavan. So I'll perform Mangalacharan. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। So it's a very wonderful good fortune to be surrounded by all of you who are present here today. Yesterday was the introduction session with Maharaj, and we already had a little peek into the topic. So those of you who have come today, you missed out on something, all right? But should we do it again? Yes, of course we should do it again. All right. So dear devotees, I'll once again summarize what was spoken yesterday. What was spoken yesterday was that, especially in this material world, dear devotees, there is one particular entity which does not belong to this world, and that is Prema. Prema is love of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And it is this Prema that we wish to pursue, and on these paths of Prema we wish to walk upon. Now, yesterday I specified two terms. The first term is moralist, and do we know what is the definition of a moralist? Somebody who follows all codes of Dharma, morals, rules, and regulations, never speaks a single lie, and never deviates from the path of Dharma. And who is the first person that comes to our mind? Sri Ram. See, the devotees, even the devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, when they are asked who is the biggest moralist, they end up saying what? Ram. Welcome, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. And dear devotees, I asked a question. Uh, Now, the exact opposite of moralist, there is also a term for that. And what is the term? Does anybody remember? Libertine. So, libertine is somebody who often deviates from the codes of Dharma, who speaks lies, who often, falsely cries and pretends to be a victim from time to time. Now, which personality fits this description? Sri Krishna. Wonderful. So, I'd like to ask you a question once again. Whom do you want to fall in love with? The moralist or the libertine? Loudly, dear devotees. All right. So, those who want to fall in love with the moralist, please raise your hands. Now is your chance. Dear devotees, look around you. Not a single moralist in the assembly. And how many of you wish to fall in love with the libertine? Please raise your hands. Oh, wow. So, welcome, dear libertines. Huh? And this, I'm very happy to be in the presence of like-minded individuals. A libertine cannot be a straightforward, simple-hearted person. A libertine has to be crooked-hearted. And therefore, the path of prema is not straight. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, in his Sri Ujjwal Neelmani, he quotes a previous author, King Bhoj, from Saraswati Kanthabharan. And Sri Rupa Goswami is quoting him, and here is what King Bhoja has to say. Aheriva gatihi premna swabhava kutila bhaves. Aher iva, ahi refers to a snake. Aher iva, like a snake, like a serpent. Gatihi, the movement, premna, of prema. Swabhava kutila, it is naturally very crooked. So, Prahlad Narasimha Prabhu, you have the mic. Yes, okay. Wonderful. Please read.
The ways of love are crooked in nature, exactly like the movement of the serpent.
All right. And dear devotees, this same realization was had by somebody here in the Western world, in Europe. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, William Shakespeare ended up saying something. Prabhu, kindly read.
The course of true love never did run smooth.
All right. But it's very important. He said true love. It's very important. So perhaps Bhagwan gave him the distinction between worldly love and true love. So he ended up saying that the course of true love never did run smooth. This is how the pathways of prema are. They are very crooked. And I had asked yesterday how many of us wish to walk on these pathways. They are very joyous, but they are very crooked. All right. So if you wish to walk on these pathways, please raise your hands. All right. Wonderful. Yeah. So we have many devotees who are willing. Now, I should give credit to the main source of inspiration behind this series of talks. There is in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, one of the 6 Goswamis is Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. And Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is well known for a few things. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that he would cook very nicely. Secondly, he could sing every verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, every meter, in 3 or 4 different tunes. And thirdly, he would never engage in criticism of any Vaishnava, neither hearing any criticism nor speaking any criticism. So this is Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. These qualities are mentioned about him in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the disciplic lineage of Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, there is a wonderful devotee who appeared whose name was Sri Gadadhar Bhatta Goswami. And Sri Gadadhar Bhatta Goswami, he composed lots of poetry in the Hindi language, Braj Bhasha language, and he had 2 sons. One was named Sri Vallabh Rasik, the younger one, and the elder one was named Sri Rasikottamsa. Now, Uttamsa means an ear ornament. We say Karnapur. Karnapur is ear ornament. So, Uttamsa is the same ornament. So, Rasik Uttamsa, the ornament of Rasikas. That was his name. And Sri Rasikottamsa composed a Sanskrit literature in his lifetime, because there are many Vaishnavas composing in Hindi, but Sanskrit literature had become slightly rare in those times. So Sri Rasikottamsa contributed to the flow of the parampara in the form of Sanskrit literature by composing Prema-pattanam. Pattanam is city of Prema. So the main source of inspiration for this series of talks comes from Sri Prema-pattanam. Although I have taken some creative liberties to give some examples which are not there in the book. Alright, but the main mood of the book I'll be maintaining. He gives many examples from many Shastras, and in some places I have given some different examples for the same mood that he has specified. Because I come from western part of India. In India, I am a western devotee. So we like higher spice. So I have to mix some more spice, dear devotees, to in the example. So this is what I have done. So, but the main theme of the book, the main mood of the book, I have tried to preserve. Now the book is very lengthy, and it is impossible for me to complete the book in 4 sessions, especially explaining the details of the book. And the book also requires knowledge of grammar and some other Vedic branches. But whatever is easily accessible from the book and whatever is very delightful for the heart of the Vaishnavas, that I have tried to present here. Right? So this is what I am doing. I am telling you the name of the literature. The credit goes to Sri Rasikottamsa from the family of Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, in the family lineage, in the disciplic succession of Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So wonderful associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now it is the duty of every generation to compose new literature in realizations of Bhagavan. That's why we call ourselves a movement. And I think I have asked this previously, but I'll once again ask, dear devotees, did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compose poetry? Yes or no? Please say loudly, yes or no? Yes. His disciple, Sri Sanatan Goswami? Yes. Sri Rupa Goswami? Yes. Sri Jiva Goswami? Yes. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? Yes. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan? Yes. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj? Yes. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashay? Yes. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada? Yes. Srila Prabhupada? Yes. All of us? So here is where the flow of the parampara stops. So dear devotees, let us not turn a river into a lake, because there is a difference between a river and a lake. A river never stagnates, and a river keeps moving. So a river has movement, and we are also known as the Hare Krishna movement. So let us keep moving. In every generation, there should be some fresh composition. And that is what keeps the flow of the parampara going. Every devotee should write their realizations. Srila Prabhupada said, I have started the Back to Godhead magazine so that devotees can write some poetry. And in one of the letters to his disciples, he said, I can send you some material for composing verses in the German language. And then, but please write some poetry, we will publish in the Back to Godhead magazine. Right? So, dear devotees, Prema-pattanam, as composed by Sri Rasikottamsa. Now we know the meaning of Rasik Uttamsa, ornament of Rasika devotees. Sri Rasikottamsa begins by saying that there is a wonderful kingdom in the sky. Now it seems to start off like a fictional story, but he is speaking about the sky beyond the material world. So the sky he is speaking about is Goloka, Vrindavan. So there is a wonderful kingdom in the sky, and he doesn't specify which sky. It is left to us to understand which sky it is. And that sky is Goloka Vrindavan. And in that wonderful city, because the city is called Pattanam, all right? So that kingdom, Pattanam, is Prema-pattanam. And the king is named, please repeat after me, Madhura Mechaka. So he's giving a very cryptic name for the king, Madhura Mechaka. Now, dear devotees, what is Mechaka? Please see, Mechaka is the eye of the peacock feather. That is what Mechak means. Now, please look at the peacock feather and look at the eye and tell me what color it is. So, all of you will have a difference of opinion in trying to understand the color of the Mechak. And what is the meaning of Madhura? Sweet. So Mechak is Shyam Sundar, dear devotees. Right? The Madhura Mechaka. That wonderful dark blue colored personality is called Madhura Mechaka. So this is the king of the city. And dear devotees, you please look carefully at the eye of the peacock. You can see Mechak. Alright. Now please see if you can see the color of that personality. So this is Madhur Mechak. And now he says this king has two relatives. First relative, please repeat after me. Mati. Mati is the path of Shastric behavior governed by the intelligence. Now, please tell me, shouldn't we walk on the path of Mati? Yes or no? Of course, we should follow Shastra. In the Gita, Krishna says, Yaha Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya Vartate Kamakarata Na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. This is what Bhagavan says. Therefore, it's very important to follow the path of Mati, Shastric injunctions, and using one's intelligence on the way. But then there is another path, another relative of this Madhur Mechak, Shri Krishna, and the name is, please repeat, Rati. Rati is when you give precedence to your heart above your head. That is when you are behaving in terms of Rati. Now, there is one personality who signifies Rati, you can see on the right hand side. It is revealed in the literature that Rati is none other than Hladini Shakti, Shri Radha herself. Right? So, Rati and Mati, dear devotees, in which sampradaya are we present? In the sampradaya of Mati or in the sampradaya of Rati? Rati. Oh, right. So, we should follow the path of Rati. But while following the path of Rati, Mati should not be fully discarded. This I have said yesterday. Because some people may think that we need to give up the path of rules and regulations completely in order to follow the path of spontaneous prema. But only those rules and regulations should be given up that become obstacles to prema. Other rules and regulations of Shastra should definitely be followed. I'll give an example from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahasaya. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahasaya said in his writings that when a devotee gets their Brahmin thread for the first time, they get, and the first day they are sitting and doing their Sandhya. So they will make sure that the time is proper, everything, the sun is, properly above your head and you are taking care of the time. So, dear devotees, at that point of time, they are following one of these two. What are they following? Mati. After many years, they meet a Rasik devotee, get influenced by the Rasik devotee, and personally develop some genuine taste for hearing Krishna Katha. And then they are sitting in a class where there is very high quality Krishna Katha going on, and suddenly they realize it is time for chanting Gayatri. Now, should they get out of the Katha, chant Gayatri at the proper time, and come back to the Katha, or should they wait in the Katha at the risk of losing the proper time? What should they do? The former or the latter? The latter. All right. So, all of you are already brainwashed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I don't need to tell you much. So, this is the path of Rati. And this path should be understood by all those who are in the sampradaya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because this is the only path that leads to the kingdom, Prema-pattanam. Otherwise, the path of Mati will not lead to Prema-pattanam. It is described in Prema-pattanam that Rati took over and discarded Mati from the kingdom entirely. And when Rati took over, dear devotees, there were many changes in the kingdom, and the kingdom became known as Prema-pattanam. Now, the meaning of prema, in the general meaning of prema is love. We say in the world, prema is love. One thing to be noted is that there is a shadow of prema in this world, and even the shadow of prema in this world is not straightforward. It is very crooked. Right? For example, when we love somebody, we go to them and we say three magical words. What do we say, dear devotees? Say loudly. No, I'm not hearing. Say loudly. Thank you so much, dear devotee. I love you too. Thank you for expressing your heart. I knew you were shy in the beginning. But yeah. Therefore, crooked people love me. I know. It takes one to love one. All right. So, even the shadow of prema in this material world is not straightforward. In the Brihadaranya Upanishad, there is a discussion between the sage Yajnavalkya and his wife Maitreyi. And Yajnavalkya says to Maitreyi something. Please repeat. Na va are sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Na va are. Dear devotees, this are is a call of love. I hope you are able to understand. It will be revealed later in this presentation. When we love somebody, we address them using very casual terms. So, are, na va are, Maitreyi, na va, sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. He says everything in this world is not loved for their pleasure. We don't love somebody for their pleasure. We love somebody because we ultimately love our own self. This is what Yagyavalkya says to Maitreyi. Here is the translation. Please read, Prabhu.
It is not for the sake of everything that everything is loved, but it is for the pleasure of the self that everything is loved by an individual.
And this is just one part of the quotation. Before this, he says, a wife doesn't love the husband because she loves the husband. A wife loves the husband because she loves herself. Then he says, a husband doesn't love the wife because he loves the wife. A husband loves the wife because he loves himself. Why? Because if the wife will be happy, then who will be happy? He will be happy. And finally, I want myself to be happy. Isn't it? Yes or no? Therefore, the husband loves the wife because the husband loves himself. Okay? I hope my wife is not in the audience already. So, even in regards to non-living entities, this is being said. Let's say, Prabhu, Prahlad Narsim Prabhu, you buy a new car. Which car do you like? Toyota. All right. So he likes Toyota, and you get, the latest and greatest Toyota that you want, and you're just driving it out of the what is it called, car showroom, and suddenly somebody comes and dashes his car against yours. How will you feel, Prabhu?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad. And Prahlad Narsim Prabhu is very angry. And then I come there and say, Prabhu, why are you so angry? He's just a non-living entity. Please tell me, did the car feel even a little bit of distress? Then why are you feeling? Do you love the car or do you love yourself? Please tell me. So he loves the car because he loves himself. And therefore, he doesn't want to see himself unhappy, and therefore he loves the car. Okay? But very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. When I get money, I'll try to gift you one. So, dear devotees, even in the material world, it is not a straightforward path. What to speak of the spiritual world? We discussed yesterday the first deviation on the path. Because Shastra says, please repeat, Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. Taittiriya Upanishad says, please repeat what it says.
Speak the truth, follow Dharma.
Speak the truth, follow Dharma. And the person who says, Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva cha aham. The person from whose breathing all the literatures, all the Vedic scriptures came out is Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Does he follow the first instruction? Please tell me. Speak the truth. Does Bhagavan Shri Krishna speak the truth? All of you are divided in opinions. See, you can't stand for protecting, defending your own master, Sri Krishna. Look at the condition of the devotees. Huh? Yes, no, yes, no. Yeah, that's it. And there is he speaks transcendental lies. There somebody adds, somebody band-aids everything with transcendental. All right. Dharmam chara, walk on the path of dharma. Now, dear devotees, uh, please, in a loud, resounding voice, from your heart, give the answer together. Does your Bhagwan follow dharma? Oh, wow. See, the large majority of people have said no. So, who is an acharya? Prabhupada used to say, a person who practices shows by example. So, he is the acharya of Bhagavad Gita, dear devotees. In the Upanishads he says follow dharma, but in the Bhagavad Gita he says sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Prabhu, kindly read.
Giving up all varieties of dharma, surrender exclusively unto me.
Yeah, so it means that in order to have prema with you, the first casualty will be dharma. It is a very crooked path, dear devotees, where dharma becomes adharma. I hope you are able to understand. This is the path. And adharma becomes dharma. And there is a wonderful verse in this regard by Sri Madhavendra Puri. What is the meaning of Sarva Dharman Parityajya? And this verse is in the Padyavali of Srila Rupa Goswami. The verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. I'll sing, kindly sing after me. Sandhya Vandana Bhadramastu Bhavato Bho Snana Tubhyam Namo भो देवावितरश्च तर्पणविधौ नाहं क्षमः क्षम्यताम् यत्र क्वापि निषद्य यादवकुलो तं सस्यकं सद्विष स्मारं स्मारमघं हरामि तदलं मन्ये मन्येन मे So Sri Madhavendra Puri was a very strict sannyasi from the Shankar Sampradaya. Puri is a surname of the sannyasis of the Shankar Sampradaya. In those days, in general, sannyas would be taken in the Sampradaya of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. And Sri Madhavendra Puri, Sri Ishwar Puri, Sri Ramachandra Puri, all these had the title Puri, which is from the Shankar Sampradaya. And sannyasis in the Shankar Sampradaya, they are very rigid about following the path of Mati, the path of rules and regulations of Shastra. They don't break any of those rules and regulations. Sri Madhavendra Puri also had taken sannyas in this Sampradaya and had followed the path of Mati for a good portion of his life. But suddenly, somewhere in his life, things started changing and he started experiencing what is Rati. And gradually, this Rati started boiling over to the point where even ordinary activities, day to day activities, started seeming like a burden to Sri Madhavendra Puri. He would be sitting in a place and thinking about the eternal pastimes of Sri Krishna. Mentally, he would be doing seva of his beloved deity, and then suddenly he will realize, oh, it is time to take a bath. I have not yet taken a bath. Because a Dvija, a Brahmana, should take bath at least twice or thrice a day. So my afternoon bath is remaining. What should I do? Should I take a bath or continue my Manasi Seva? Dear devotees, what should he do? Manasi Seva. So, Sri Madhavendra Puri said, Sandhya Vandana Bhadramastu. Oh, Sandhya Vandan. Oh, chanting of Gayatri, Bhadramastu, auspiciousness to you. I hope you understand the meaning of that, alright? Auspiciousness to you. Like we say to somebody, Hare Krishna, you're okay, Prabhu? Yeah. It's like somebody whom we don't want to meet, we say from a distance, Hare Krishna, are you okay, Prabhu? Huh? Yeah, I'm okay. All right. Yeah. I'll see you later. Okay. So like, Sandhya Vandana Bhadramastu, auspiciousness to you. Bhavato Bho Snan. And Snan, dear devotees, what is the meaning of Snan? Bath. Tubhyam Namo, my obeisances unto you. My obeisances to you. Bo Deva Pitarascha, and O Devatas, and O forefathers who are waiting for daily offerings. Tarpana Vidhau, as far as satisfying you daily with offerings of water is concerned. Naham Kshama, I am no longer capable of offering you anything. Kshamyatam, Kshama, please forgive me. So, what are you doing in all those 24 hours, Sri Madhavendra Puri? Yatra Kwapi Nishadya, wherever I get a place to sit, wherever, here or there. Yatra Kwapi, wherever I get some place to sit, I sit there, Nishadya. Yadava Kulottam Sasya. And then I remember Yadava Kula, the Yadu dynasty, and Uttamsa. What is the meaning of Uttamsa, dear devotees? The ornament of the Yadu dynasty. Kamsa Dvisha, I remember that enemy of Kamsa. Smaram, Smaram, remembering him repeatedly. Agham Harami, I will drive away all my negative reactions. I don't need to take a bath for that or chant Gayatri on time. Tadalam, this is sufficient. Manye ki manye name. What more do I need? I do not need anything else besides this. So, dear devotees, this is what Sri Madhavendra Puri said. Please read.
O chanting of my Sandhya, Gayatri, all auspiciousness unto you. O Snana, daily bathing, obeisances unto you. O Devas and Pitras, I am now incapable of carrying out rituals to satisfy you. Please excuse me. I will now simply situate myself in one place and destroy all my sins by repeatedly remembering Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, and the ornament of the Yadava dynasty. What need do I have for any other rituals?
So, this is the mood of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Now, please tell me, is this the path of Mati or the path of Rati? Rati. Wonderful. But those of us who have not reached this level of absorption in the thoughts of Sri Krishna, it is better to follow the path of Mati. Sri Jiva Goswami in the Bhakti Sandarbha says, Vaidhi Samvalita Raganuga Bhakti. For most individuals, Raganuga Bhakti should be mixed with a healthy dose of which Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti. Because it is that Vaidhi Bhakti, Mati, which will prevent us from breaking the rules and regulations of Shastra. Otherwise, tomorrow somebody who doesn't want to take a bath will say, Sandhya Vandana Bhadramastu Bhavato Bhosnanatubhyam Nam. In the Brahmachari ashram, they say, wake up, Prabhu. And Prahlad Narsim Prabhu, Bhosnanatubhyam Namah. Sometimes you feel like that in the morning for Mangal Arti, both of us are in the same boat. So, early morning 3:30 and Snan, Tubhyam Nama. But no, we should still wake up, all right? And we should take a bath and come to Mangal Arti every day, all right? Okay. So, dear devotees, these codes of Dharma, they disappear not only for the devotees but also for Sri Krishna. There's a wonderful verse composed by Srila Jiva Goswami at the beginning of his commentary on Srila Rupa Goswami's Dan Keli Kaumudi. Kindly sing after me. Dan Keli Kalaulupta Dharma Maryadayor Bhaje Radha Madhavayoh Kama Lobha Dambha Madanritam. I worship, he says, bhaje. In the second line at the end, you can see, I worship. What do you worship? Radha Madhavayoho. I worship Radha Madhav's Kama. How do you translate calm, dear devotees, in English? Lust. Okay. Specific meaning is lust, general meaning is desire. Calm, lust. What is lobha? Greed. Dambha, pride. Mada, intoxication. Anritam, speaking lies. So I worship the lust, anger, greed, huh, speaking lies, etc. of this divine couple. What is the name, dear devotees? Sri Radha Madhav. Why? Because Dana Keli Kalau, in the pastime of Dana Lila, exacting tax, Lupta Dharma Maryada. They both of them completely forgot the Maryada, the boundaries of Dharma. Sri Radha also forgot, and he also forgot. So, dear devotees, please tell me, on the path of Rati, is Dharma Dharma or is Adharma Dharma? Please tell me. Adharma is Dharma. Otherwise, you cannot have these pastimes between Sri Sri Radha Madhav. If both of them stick to the path of Dharma. Here is the translation.
I worship the lust, greed, deceit, pride, and falsities of Radha and Madhava, who have lost all sense of worldly religiosity while displaying their loving quarrel in the pastime such as exacting dan, etc.
Dear devotees, please tell me, does Bhagavan Shri Krishna follow Dharma or Adharma? Very big question. Think about it and say loudly. What is your answer? Does Bhagavan Shri Krishna follow Dharma or Adharma? See, I have a mixed audience again. Huh? Okay, I'll resolve the doubt. The devotee poet Sri Harisuri comes here and defends Bhagwan by saying, let him follow Adharma. No problem. I'll give one argument. Dear devotees, and he gives one argument. Here is his argument. Pitra lekha brahmaputra na pita putra lekhadhi dharma esho bhavat sustho na dharmamshosti kaschana. Now, dear devotees, there is a Sanskrit term here, alekh. Alekh means will. Before somebody leaves this world, they go to a lawyer and they write something. What they write is called as a will. That will is called alekh. Now, Sri Hari Suri asks, Pitra lekha prama putra na pita putra lekhadi. Dear devotees, will the father follow the will of the son or will the son follow the will of the father? Please tell me. The son will follow the will of the father. And all the Shastras in this world were manifested by Sri Brahma. You can see in the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And who is the Pita? Who is the father of Brahma? Sri Krishna. So, will the rules made by Brahma be applicable to the father? Please tell me. Does it ever happen that a son's will becomes applicable to the father in this world? No. So, dharma esha bhavat susto. Now it is clearly proven. Na adharmam shosti kaschana. None of Brahma's rules can apply to Sri Krishna because the son's will never applies to the father. It is in every country, it is the law. The father's will applies to the son. Alright, here is the translation.
The father's aleka will becomes applicable to the son. Son's aleka never affects the father. By this eternal law, Krishna never is Krishna never forced to accept any writings of his son, Vidhi, Brahma, and thus no religiosity is present in his acts.
One of the names of Brahma is Vidhi, isn't it? And one meaning of Vidhi is Brahma. And what is the other meaning of Vidhi? Rules. So Brahma ji is synonymous with rules. So everything that Sri Brahma has to specify as rules in this world, he has given. But will the will of Brahma be applicable to his own father Sri Krishna? No. Therefore, na adharma se amshosti kaschan. There is no adharma in anything that Sri Krishna has ever done. Now, adharma becomes dharma. Another crookedness, dear devotee, Sri Rasikottamsa says, please repeat after me. Yatra anadara eva adaraha. Please read, Prabhu.
In this city of Prema, disrespect itself is real respect.
All right. In any city in the world, will anybody say disrespect is the real respect? Because all the cities are made by people who have a straightforward heart, simple heart. But the city of Prema is made by Madhur Mechak, and Madhur Mechak is not straightforward in his heart. So in this city, disrespect is the highest respect. And for those of you who don't believe me, every morning all of you come and show the highest respect to Sri Krishna in the final verse of Shikshashtakam. आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां नष्टु माम् अदर्शनान्मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु loudly wow Radha Madan Mohan heard मत् प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परः मत् प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परः. So what is Lampato, dear devotees? Debauched. So, yeah. So every morning, what are we calling Sri Krishna? Why? It is the path of Mati or the path of Rati? So this is the path taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This respect is great respect. Dear devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Rasikottamsa quotes Sri Rupa Goswami. So here is where I am quoting one of the verse quoted by him. Very wonderful verse. This verse is in from the Lalita Madhav Natakam. The meter is Arya. I'll try to sing. Please sing after me. Gokula kula jaratinam Gokula kula jaratinam Parusha vagapi yatha pramodayate Parusha vagapi yatha pramodayate Studirapi mahamuninam Studirapi mahamuninam Madhurapadamam sakhe natatha Madhurapadamam sakhe natatha. So Sri Krishna himself is saying to his friend Sakhe, oh friend, Gokula Kula Jarati Nam. Jarati is old lady, old frustrated lady who has no other purpose in life other than spoiling my attempts at love. Sri Krishna is saying that is Jarati. Gokula Kula Jarati Nam. So the elderly ladies of Gokula, Parushavak, their sharp abusive words, Yatha Pramodayati, the joy that they give me. Stutirapi Mahamuninam, Madhura Padamam Sakhe, even the sweet flowery glorifications of the great sages doesn't give me the happiness that verbal abuses from these old cowherd ladies gives me. This is what Bhagwan says to his friend. Here is the translation.
Oh friend, the sharp abusive words of the elderly gopis of Raja please me so much more than the wonderfully sweet poetic glorification of the great sages.
So, dear devotees, please repeat after me. Yatra anadara eva adara. Where disrespect is the greatest respect. Do all of you agree? This is Prema-pattanam. This is the city of Prema. Now Shri Rasikottamsa says, even in the Prema of this world, this often happens. He quotes a verse from a worldly author, and this is a very nice verse in the same meter Arya. नाथेति परुषवचनम् नाथेति परुषवचनम् प्रियेति दासेत्यनुग्रहो यत्र प्रियेति दासेत्यनुग्रहो यत्र तद्दाम्पत्यमतोऽन्यान् तद्दाम्पत्यमतोऽन्यान् नारीरज्जु पशु पुरुष नारीरज्जु पशु पुरुष. So in this world, nath iti parusha vachanam. When a wife addresses her husband in a very respectable way, oh, respectable husband. Parusha vachanam, the husband feels scraped in his heart with a sandpaper. Don't call me like this. Why are you behaving so formally with me? Nath iti parusha vachanam. Acha, so what should I call you? Priyeti daseti. Oh, my dear servant and assistant. Anugraho. Now this is great favor upon me. Anugraho yatra. Tad dampatyam. Sri Rasikottam says this is householder life, where you address each other, not only the wife to the husband, but the husband also to. So don't, dear devotees from this side, don't. So when you address each other with such words of familiarity, that sounds as anugraha, deep respect. But words of so-called respect, which are prevalent in the world outside, sound like sharp words to us. Tad dampatyam. If you have such a sweet relationship where you can address each other even using the most casual words without getting offended, tad dampatyam. That is dampatya. That is householder life. Ato anyan. Anything else besides this. If there is any other situation besides this in the home, Sri Rasikottamsa says, then both husband and wife are simply dragging their life one day at a time. If such confidence is not there. Nari Rajju Pashu Purusha. The lady is the rope and the husband is the domestic animal tied to the rope, and they are both moving ahead one day at a time. Nari Rajju Pashu Purusha. Like this. So, wonderful verse. Dear devotees, please read.
Even in the material world, when a wife addresses her husband as Natha, the revered Lord, it appears very unpleasant to his heart. On the other hand, terms such as Priya, hey dear, Dasa, hey you, my assistant, appear to the husband like a great favor. This indeed is true householder life. Those who do not have a loving relationship like this are merely dragging along in life like animals, where the wife is the rope and the husband is the poor beast of burden.
Yeah. That is his verse, not mine, all right? So this is how dampatyam, this is how householder life is supposed to be. If somebody has great good fortune in the material world, what he's indicating is, if somebody has great good fortune in the material world due to previous good karma, they may end up getting a relationship like this. Such a relationship cannot be gotten by one's own efforts. Many people think I'll find the perfect person in the world. If I find long enough, I'll get that. Romanticism taught us that if you find a person long enough, the right person, you will get the right person. But you only get the right person when you have the credit of pious karma from previous lives. So this is what is the indication given by this particular verse. Now, dear devotees, another crookedness is, he says, please repeat after me. Yatra avinayah eva vinayah. Yatra avinayah eva vinayah. In this city of Prema, avinayah, boldness, eva vinayah is the real humility. Because in this world we have our conceptions of humility. That I meet Prahlad Narsimha Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, how are you? Everything okay? Huh? So this is our conception of humility in this world. But such a conception doesn't work in the city of Prema. Yatra avinayaha, where boldness is vinaya, is real humility. And a prime example of this is seen in the Govardhan Leela, because in the Govardhan Leela, all the Vrajavasis were planning to worship somebody initially. Whom were they planning to worship? Indra. And suddenly somebody came and said, well, I don't think this should be done. Look here. Yatra avinaya eva vinaya, where boldness is real humility. So Nanda Maharaj could have said, well, you know, you are speaking out of, I understand, but Krishna, this is not your place to speak anything. Huh? Let the elders decide what they want to do. But Sri Krishna would not budge. In the Gopal Jampu, Sri Jiva Goswami describes that Sri Krishna said to Nanda Maharaj, actually, we should give all offerings to everybody. You give offering to the Chandal, the lowest human in the society. You give offering to the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas. You give to the animals. You give even to the dogs, but you don't give to Indra. This is in Gopal Champu, the direct words of Sri Jiva Goswami. We will feed the dogs, but we will not feed whom? Indra. So, in a very bold manner, he said like this to his father, Nanda Maharaj. And lo and behold, all of them agreed. If Sri Krishna would have gone with folded hands, dear father, I have one request to you, please consider, and then spoken in a so called humble way, most likely they would not have agreed. But because he spoke in a very bold way, till the point of saying that you can feed the dogs but don't feed Indra, by the force of his statements, they agreed, also because they loved him. And finally, Sri Krishna said something to them. Please repeat. This is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Astyasvapara drishtinam amitro dasta vidvisham. He said to his father, please don't hide any secrets from me. Whatever you are planning, any other ceremony you are planning, please tell me. I am your near and dear one. Please don't hide anything from me. The reason for saying this is so that he can get all the secrets out from his father and then demolish the conception of Indra Puja that Nanda Maharaj has. Here is the translation.
Certainly, no secrets are to be kept by saintly personalities who, who see all others as equal to themselves, who have no conception of mine or another's, and who do not consider who is a friend, who is an enemy, and who is neutral.
Dear devotees, this is what Sri Krishna said. Please don't hide anything from me. Saintly people don't think in terms of he is mine, he is another person's, he belongs to me, he doesn't belong to me. Speak the truth to me and tell me everything within your heart. Now, dear devotees, since Krishna has exhibited such boldness, the devotee commentator Sri Harisuri says, I have a sincere advice for you, Sri Krishna. So, in boldness, the devotee can surpass Bhagavan. And here is an example of that. The verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. I'll sing, please sing after me. Yairnagyaimanaksuridvishadudasinatvabedovanau विषदुदासीनत्वभेदोवनौ तेषामन्यहितार्थकं समदृशां गोप्यं न किञ्चित् क्वचित्. गोपानेवमुपादिशस्तदुचितं स्वात्माप्युपादिश्यताम् यो यस्मद्धितकृत्कृपा प्रकटने श्रीशालसः सम्प्रति धितकृत्कृपा प्रकटने. So he says, Yair na agyai manak. Krishna, you said those saintly souls who possess equanimity, who look everybody with an equal vision, who don't see any difference between a friend, enemy, or a neutral person, should never hide any beneficial facts from anyone at any point of time. Right? Sri Hari Suri says, Gopan evam upadishas, while giving such lofty instructions to the Gopas, taduchitam, better than that, Swatmapi upadishyatam. Look in the mirror and give this instruction to your own self. Look in the mirror, Krishna, and give yourself the same instruction. Why? Yo hi asmadhita kripa prakatane Shrisha alasah samprati. Am I your enemy, Shri Krishna, that till now you have not bestowed any benefit on me? Was I your enemy? That you are so lazy in bestowing benefit upon me. And even if I am an enemy, you should have bestowed benefit. But I am your devotee. Still, you have not bestowed any benefit upon me. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
Krishna, you said that those saintly souls possess equanimity, do not see any difference between a friend, enemy, or a neutral person, should never hide any beneficial facts from anyone at any point of time. Now please listen. While you are giving such a lofty instruction to the Gopas, it is better that you also give the same instruction to your own self. Why so? Because when it comes to showing mercy and benefit to your devotees, such as myself, you're still very lazy.
Yatra avinaya eva vinaya, where boldness is the real humility, dear devotees. So, this is the path shown by the previous devotees. Another good example of this is when a devotee, such as Sri Bilvamangal Thakur, challenges Krishna directly. हस्तमुत्क्षेप्य यातोऽसि बलात् कृष्ण किमद्भुतम् हृदयाद्यदि निर्यासि पौरुषं गणयामि ते. Sri Bilvamangal Thakur could not see using his eyes. The only way he could perceive Krishna is through his heart, and sometimes Krishna would give him the touch of his body. So Krishna would hold his hands. At one point of time, Krishna, walking with Srila Bilvamangal Thakur in the forest of Raja, suddenly left the hand of Sri Bilvamangal Thakur. Sri Bilvamangal Thakur tried to catch his hand, but Krishna forcibly snatched his hand away and ran away. At that time, Sri Bilvamangal Thakur laughed and said, Hastamutshipya yatosi, snatching away your hand. Balat, forcibly, Krishna kimadbhutam, you are running away from my hands. You are running away. Hridayad yadi niryasi paurusham ganayami. Paurusham ganayami. I will truly count your bravery on the day you manage to forcibly leave my heart. Here is the translation.
Oh Krishna, you're leaving my hand forcibly and going away. What bravery is there in such an act? The day you manage to leave my heart, I will truly count it as your bravery.
Yatra avinaya eva vinaya, where boldness is the real humility. And dear devotees, if you try to show so-called humility in front of this crooked person, that will be non-humility. I hope you are able to understand. You will not be able to achieve your purpose. It will be taken as a weakness. You are dealing with Sri Krishna. And is Sri Krishna a straightforward person or a crooked person? So should he be shown humility or boldness? Bole Jun loudly. Huh? Boldness. Arey, but we heard Sharanagati has 6 limbs. What are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati? Dainya. What is the meaning of Dainya? Humility. Humility in front of whom? In front of Krishna? Forget it. You are dealing with one of the most crooked people. No, the most crooked people in the entire creation. Dear devotees, when the Yajna Patnis, the wives of the Brahmanas, approached Sri Krishna with the desire that we wish to have your hand in marriage, Sri Krishna said something to them, and here is what Sri Krishna said to them, dear devotees. What did he say? Go back to your homes. And the Yajna Patnis were very humble. They went back to their homes. They actually went back to their homes. Now, they wanted to marry Sri Krishna, but they went back to their homes by showing humility in front of Sri Krishna. Were they able to achieve their desire? Tell me, yes or no? No. Humility is seen as weakness in front of this person. Now, another set of ladies, the gopis, approached him in the middle of the night. And he was playing on his flute, and he, very crooked person, he knew that he was playing the flute for inviting all of them. And when all of them came running from their homes, he is closing his eyes and playing the flute as if nothing is happening, nobody is around him. And suddenly he opens his eyes when all the gopis are around him and says, Are, how come you are here in the middle of the night? Wow, you are ladies from good families. What are you doing here in the middle of the night? This is not a good time to be here. Dear devotees, this is how crooked he was. And then he made the same statement to them. Go back to your home. In Sanskrit literature, home is called samsar, griha samsar. Samsar it is called. So go back to your griha samsar. Now, this time he is not dealing with humble Brahmin ladies. This time he is dealing with cowherd ladies. So the gopis, they were scratching the ground with their toenails. And he's saying, go back. And they didn't go back. And dear devotees, this was actually a test for the gopis, and the gopis managed to pass the test. So please tell me, in the spiritual world, is humility humility or is boldness humility? Boldness. Prema-pattanam. These are the crooked paths of prema. At that point of time, the gopis are keeping quiet. They're just watching him, but our devotee commentator cannot keep quiet. He has to take sides with somebody. Now, please tell me, whom will he take sides with? With the crooked person or with the even more crooked ones who are dealing with him? Even more crooked one. So, dear devotees, then he composes a verse expressing their heart. This verse is in the meter Shikharini, wonderful meter, same as Jagannath Ashtakam. शिरस्याधायैव व्रजत पुनरित्युक्तिमिहते स्याधायैव व्रजत पुनरित्युक्तिमहते व्रजामस्वं गेहं स्वमतिसरलानं यगदिका पदं ते प्राप्तानां भुवि न पुनरावृत्तिरिति या तया श्रुत्याग्वेद सदयवदगन्तव्यमधुना. So you need to be more crooked than this person in order to deal with him. All right. So learn how to deal with him. Dear devotees, Sri Harishwari expresses the mind of the gopis. He is speaking on behalf of the gopis. Shirasya dhayaiva. Oh Bhagwan, wonderful. See, externally you have to be humble. All right. Huh? So, Shirasya dhayaiva. We accept your words and keep it on our heads. We respect your words like this. We keep it on our heads. And what are your words? Vrajata punar. Return back to your samsar. All right? Please repeat after me. Return back to your samsar. Ityuktim. These are your words. Ihate. Vrajamaha. We will go back. Swam geham. We will go back to our homes. Why? Swam ati sarala. We are very simple, gopis. Ananya gatika. We have nobody else other than you. You ordered us. We will go back. But before we go, padam te praptanam bhuvi na punaravrittiriya. You are telling us go back to your samsar, your home. But what about your wives? Which wives? Krishna doesn't have any wives at this point of time. The devotees, the Shrutis, the Vedas are also considered as wives of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. What about your wives? The Devatas often come here and say that the Shrutis are your wives. So, what about your wives? The Shrutis, the Vedas, who were loudly glorifying that anybody who approaches you never has to return back to samsar, the material world. Anybody who takes shelter of you never has to return back to samsar. So, what about those wives of yours? We will go back to our homes. That is agreed. We agree. But first, Taya Shrutya Kwetah Vada Gantavyam. Please tell me if your wives will be able to go back to their homes tonight. Now there is a big secret hidden in the last line because his poet is the thought process is very deep. We will go back to our homes, but please ask your wife, the Shrutis, will they be able to go back to their homes? Now, what is the secret? The secret is, dear devotees, the Shrutis, the four Vedas, were manifested in this world by one personality through the heart of one personality. Which personality was that? Brahma. And Sri Brahma is his abode is the abode where the Shrutis stay, or the four Vedas reside in this world. And what is the name of the abode of Sri Brahma? Satyalok, the abode of truth. But today your Shrutis are proven false because today we approached you and you told us return back to samsar. So by saying this, your Vedas have been proven false by your own words. So tell me, will the liar Shrutis get an entry into Satyalok, the abode of truth today? Please tell me. So this is the level of crookedness you need to deal with this person. Here is the translation.
Krishna, you say to us, return back to your samsara homes. We are simple-hearted ladies, and we respectfully keep this order of yours on our heads. Today we will go back to our samsara homes, even after surrendering to you. Tell us, however, O Lord, your wives, the Shrutis, proudly proclaim that anyone who surrenders unto you will never have to return back to samsara, the material world, ever again. O Lord, will these Shrutis be able to go back to their homes today?
Yeah. So dear devotees, this is where yatra anadara avinaya eva vinaya, where boldness itself is the real humility. Now please tell me, how do you find the pathways of prema? Are they straightforward or very crooked? Very crooked. All the mati that you learnt in your initial days as a sadhaka, a lot of that will have to be undone in the perfected stage as a siddha. But while we are in this body as a sadhaka, mostly we should follow the path of mati. And when dealing with Sri Krishna, we have to follow the path of rati. In the path of rati, there is a lot of crookedness, and everything is not what it seems to be. So here I will pause my presentation today. Tomorrow we will have many more varieties of crookedness coming and wonderful examples coming from Shastra. But I'll pause here. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit vidvam sah purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guru reva me nahi. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit. It's possible I might have slipped while walking, and while speaking something I might have said something incorrect. But if I said something incorrect, vidvam sah, you are intelligent devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. But yadatra saushthavam kinchit. If there's anything nice, Tad Guroreva. It belongs to my Gurujanas. May nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you so much. So we have time, Maharaj, for Q&A. Okay, so we have some time for Q&A. If Maharaj, you would like to say something, then we can begin with you, or if not, then we later. Okay. So anybody, yes, all right. We'll go to Purnamasi Mataji, then we'll go to you.
Thank you very much for a wonderful class. I would like to ask, you gave many examples of persons who were already in a perfected stage in relationship to Krishna, and they showed their boldness. Can you say, what can we do in this stage when we are like sadhakas? How we show our boldness towards Krishna?
Yeah, so the question is, as sadhakas, how do we show our boldness towards Sri Krishna? If we do not feel confident enough to express something bold in front of Sri Krishna, because either we don't understand how to deal with him, or we are not confident about our own thoughts, then we can take some of the bold statements by the previous devotees and repeat them in front of Bhagavan. There's a very nice statement in the Padyavali that I am reminded of. I'll specify this statement of Sri Padyavali. या द्रौपदी परित्राणे या गजेन्द्रस्य मोक्षणे मय्यार्ते करुणामूर्ते सात्वरा क्व गता हरे. या द्रौपदी परित्राणे. O Bhagavan, Madan Mohan, the haste you displayed while saving Draupadi, Ya Gajendrasya Mokshane, and the haste you showed while rescuing Gajendra, Mai Arte, now I am in distress. Karuna Murte, oh Karuna Murti, this is sarcastic comment. Oh Karuna Murti, oh personification of mercy. Satvara Kvagata, where has your haste gone suddenly? It seems to have taken a long vacation in my case. So this is an example of a sarcastic comment by a devotee to Bhagavan who is in the sadhaka stage. So see, all relationships are based on the confidence that one has towards Bhagavan. And confidence is something that cannot be developed after attending a course. Confidence is something that a person develops either from impressions from previous lives or by associating with devotees from this life. Even in this world, you will see there are some people who are not confident in their behavior. For any reason, they may be introverts or whatever. So in their relationships too, they are little formal, they don't speak much. Those people who have confidence, Vishramba, Vishwas, deep confidence, you can't stop them from speaking their heart. So like this, it is dependent from person to person. If you feel that confidence with your beloved Lord, then you should be able to say. We all, devotees usually have their Ishtadev. Ishtadev is their beloved deity. One of the 64 limbs of bhakti is Vigyapti. Vigyapti is expressing your heart. Ishtadeve Vigyapti. So to express your heart openly in front of your Ishtadev, your beloved deity. Now, if we can't even express our heart in front of our beloved deity, then what is the use of calling them Ishtadev? There should be one deity like that in the world where we can go and speak anything within our heart that we wish to express to them. Ishtadeve Vigyapti. So there is a section in the writings of Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Ishtadeve Vigyapti. This is Hari Hari Bifale Janam Govainu. So he is Sri Narottam Das Thakur is saying Hari Hari Vifale Janam Govainu. Manushya Janam Paiya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Janiya Suniya Vishikhain. I drank poison by not worshipping both of you. So he is expressing his heart in front of his Ishtadev. So this is Vigyapti, expressing your heart, one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. By clearly expressing your heart according to your mood, you have been given a certain mood by previous lives, previous nature. You have a certain mood. Use that mood in relating to Bhagwan. So this is also specified in Shastra. That you relate to Bhagwan according to your mood. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va anusrita svabhavat karodi yadyat sakalam parasmai Narayanayati samarpayetad. This is 11:236 of the Bhagavatam. You can see, Mataji, Swabhavat. What is the meaning of Swabhavat given in the word for word? According to?
One's conditioned nature.
Yeah, according to one's conditioned nature. So please raise your hands. How many of us have conditioned nature in this world? So relate to Bhagwan according to your conditioned nature. Alright. The verse gives you the liberty. So the translation, Prahlad Narsim Prabhu.
In accordance with the particular nature one has acquired in conditioned life, whatever one does with body, words, mind, senses, intelligence, or purified consciousness, one should offer to the Supreme, thinking, this is for the pleasure of Lord Narayana.
Yeah, so one should have the habit of offering Vigyapti, honest, heartfelt supplications towards Bhagwan, and this is the purpose of that limb of bhakti. So we should have that sort of a relationship with Bhagwan. We should compose some poetry from time to time and express our heart. We may not show that poetry to everybody. We may keep it private, but it is Vigyapti. Some poetry can be shown to everybody. Some poetry should be kept very private. So like this is Vigyapti. So this is how every devotee should learn how to deal with Bhagwan. So I hope that answers your query to certain degree of satisfaction. All right. Anybody else? Sorry, we had.
I had the same question. So.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, Prabhu, we'll come to you.
It's following the same line of this question. You hinted that you said, but in our sixfold process of surrender, one is dainya. So you mentioned, but for who actually asks for dainya? You didn't. Maybe you could follow on that one.
Yeah. So the question is that in the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, one of them is dainya. Dainya is humility. So when a devotee has 2 aspects to their life, one is called as the sadhak aspect. Sadhak is the aspect of their life in which they are dealing with the material world and they are living in the material world. And another is the siddha aspect, where they are aspiring for an eternal identity in the spiritual world. These are the 2 parallel aspects that a devotee walks upon. As a sadhaka, they exhibit humility in front of Bhagavan by being honest. Because being honest is the first step to exhibiting humility. This is who I am. Humility is not this is who I am pretending to be. So that is what, often humility is that you have to be somebody else other than yourself. So humility is to represent oneself as one is. This is who I am. Bhagavan, I am very fallen according to the standards of Shastra, but this is who I am, Bhagavan. And I open my heart in front of you. These are the issues I have in life. And some devotee may go and say, Bhagavan, although no devotee knows, I am telling you privately, I still like to smoke cigarettes. Humility. I hope you are able to understand. Not that in front of, oh Bhagavan, I am most fallen and you are the topmost. And Bhagavan is thinking, how are you the most fallen? And you are not even revealing that to Bhagavan. So, dear devotees, humility means first and foremost to accept the truth as it is given. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada has given a definition of humility, dainya, in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. उत्कृष्टत्वेऽप्यमानित्वम् कथिता मानशून्यता. Utkrishtatvepi, you may be having the best qualities, but not becoming affected by the greatness of your own qualities. Just present yourself as an ordinary person. That is humility. Manashunyata. You may be the best in the world. Present yourself as an ordinary person in front of Bhagavan. That is manashunyata. That is actually humility. And one does not need to make an artificial farcical display of humility in front of Bhagavan, because Bhagavan knows the thought we are about to think before we think it sometimes. So Utkrishtatve Pyamanitvam Kathita Manashunyata. This is actually, you may be the best in your field, but relate to Bhagavan as an ordinary human with all the defects. This is humility. Alright? And then in that relationship, when that relationship with Bhagavan deepens, then you can start speaking to him, your heart more and more. And in those interactions, if at a certain point of time you have to take shelter of boldness, of course you will take shelter of boldness. What is more important? Sweetening the relationship or maintaining that sense of humility? What is more important? Please tell me. Sweetening the relationship. So, that is what takes precedence later in the relationship. Initially, you approach Bhagavan and represent yourself as you are. That is humility. Everybody can do that. It's nothing out of anybody's reach. Everybody can do this. Utkrishtepi amanit. Bhagavan, here is who I am. I am Hari Parshad Das. These are the faults I have. Yesterday, I made this mistake. Day before yesterday, I made this mistake. I am just telling you. Sometimes I am embarrassed to acknowledge my mistakes. What to do? There is a prayer like that by Sri Rupa Goswami also. Mattulyo nasti papatma naparadhi cha kaschana parihare pilajja me kim bruve purushottam. So you can see all those prayers and pray similarly according to your degree of realization. So I hope that answers your query to some degree of satisfaction. Right? Okay. Okay. We'll go to her, then we'll come to you.
Hare Krishna. So I was wondering, as you mentioned that boldness is real humility, but it just seems that I don't understand what is like the humility aspect. It just seems like the boldness is boldness.
Yeah.
Like how they act.
It's a very important question, and I thought about it before I came for the presentation. So the answer is already prepared. Somebody will ask me that Adharma is the real Dharma, but it looks like Adharma. So why call it Dharma? Boldness is the real humility, but it looks like boldness. Then why call it humility? The purpose of humility is to please Bhagwan. Everybody agrees? Yes. Now, if instead of humility, boldness is what will please Bhagwan, then boldness is the actual humility. I hope you are able to understand this. In the Damodar Lila, if Mother Yashoda would have shown humility in front of Sri Krishna, would that have pleased Sri Krishna more, or did the boldness of Mother Yashoda please Krishna more? Please tell me. So, what is humility? When Bhagwan Ram wanted somebody to find Sita, in the entire monkey army, there was only one personality capable of crossing over the ocean. And who was that? Hanuman. And on the shore of the ocean, if he would have shown humility, no, Jambanji, you are more senior devotee, you please try to cross the ocean. How can I go before the senior devotee? We follow in the footsteps of the senior devotees. So first Jambavant will go, then I will follow in his footsteps. Because on the shore, Hanuman realized actually I am the one who has the power to do this as it is. And then Hanuman said, I will do it. And then he did it actually. And when he went there, he didn't just find Sita Devi, he set fire to the entire Lanka, terrorized everybody. Major terrorist activity in Lanka. Each and every home in Lanka was terrorized. This is humility, isn't it? Please tell me. Why is this humility? Because it managed to achieve one purpose. What purpose was it achieved? Ah, Bhagavan was pleased. So tell me, what is humility? So that is what is. Yeah, I remember in the Shikshashtakam sessions we were discussing Trinadapi Sunichena. This point came up. What is the meaning of Trinadapi Sunichena? That for the seva of Bhagwan, so seva of my Guru, I am willing to take any position that is required. So that is Trinadapi Sunichena. Otherwise, we will get only very surface level interpretations of Trinadapi Sunichena, and it will not be helpful for us in our day to day life. Is the leader of the temple also supposed to be Trinadapi Sunichena? Yes or no? Then he should resign. How can he be Trinadapi Sunichena if he is posing as a leader? It's a, there are some nuances to understanding this. So I hope that answers your query to some degree of satisfaction. All right. Who had raised their hand here? Yes. So dear devotees, every day I'll be keeping some good amount of time for the Q&A, because I understand devotees love to ask questions, but no loaded questions, please. Yes.
If I don't have an intelligence itself on what to ask my Ishtadev, then I'll ask something, because I have my two close friends. One is more interested into book distribution. He prayed like anything. Now he's landed in a BBT office where daily he is more than overburdened writing the inventory of how many books came, how many books were just sent, and you don't have a time to read or distribute. I have another friend who wanted to do more programs. He's overloaded with doing programs where he don't have the time to chant itself. If Krishna is that kind of giving, overloading the service which I am opted for, I should not ask anything, or just go with the flow what Krishna is giving.
Yeah. Wonderful question. And it is slightly loaded with the name of BBT. All right. So I have to be little careful. Anyways, all respects to BBT, to all the book distributors around the world who are doing a wonderful seva, and certainly they should do their seva. When we take a certain amount of seva upon us, uh, especially in the initial days of our bhakti, we should be guided by mati. Mati is shastric injunctions. That is what should guide us in the initial days. And in the initial days, the Guru will tell us what is given in the Shastra, that smartavyaha satatam vishnur vismartavyo na jatuchit. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. All rules and regulations other than that are supposed to help this one particular principle of Krishna Bhakti. Now, sometimes if the practical aspect of seva is so overburdening that one is not able to favorably think of Bhagwan, then one should definitely approach one's guru and tell them this problem, and the guru will certainly make that adjustment for the disciple. There is a letter by Srila Prabhupada by a devotee who was working very hard on the farm, and he could not find time to chant his rounds after attending the Bhagavatam class and evening class and everything. And Srila Prabhupada said, made adjustments for him. So this personal adjustment should be made for all the devotees by their Guru Janas. But otherwise the services will keep piling up, and then there is nobody else to take care of them. And then sometimes devotees may lose enthusiasm on the path of bhakti. Therefore, it is always needed that in the initial days, devotees should be guided by mati, by the path of Shastra, and there they should have a proper guide. But my respect to all those who are doing seva in all the various departments in the society. They are all doing a very great job, and I am sure Srila Prabhupada is pleased with their seva. But Srila Prabhupada will be more pleased if they can improve their direct absorption in Krishna Bhakti. That is also what I believe. All right. So I hope that answers your query. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Anuragini Mataji.
I feel a little embarrassed to ask, but the last verse that you presented was so crooked that it got stuck, and I didn't understand the last sentence. Why the Vedas were they coming back home or not?
Yeah.
Can you share that again, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Shri Harishwari is saying that he is speaking on behalf of the gopis. Krishna, you told us, return back to your samsar. And what is the meaning of samsar, dear devotees? We are simple-hearted gopis. We keep your order on our head, and today we will go back to our samsara, our home. But Krishna, your wives, the Shrutis, they said anybody who approaches you never has to return back to samsar. What is the meaning of samsar here? Material world. So by your own words, your Shrutis have been proven false. Because we approached you and we fulfilled the condition of the Shrutis. And despite approaching you, we have to return back to samsar. So your Shrutis have been proven false today by your sending us back to samsar. Now your Shrutis stay in Satyaloka, the planet of truth. Should false people be allowed on the planet of truth? Please tell me. Yes or no? No. Then will your Shrutis be able to go back to their homes today? That is the question he is asking.
Very crooked.
Yeah, very crooked. Okay. Satyalok. They should not be allowed back in Satyalok. Because Satyalok is a place for truthful people. And today, by your own statements, your Shrutis have been proven false. We approached you and we had to return back to samsar. And this is the message behind it. There are more crooked verses coming from him tomorrow, all right? Because he's not, is very nice in his dealing with Bhagwan. He's perfect. He knows how to deal with Bhagwan. He's from that part of India where I am from, and that so crookedness is slightly greater. huh. So wonderful commentator. All right. Anybody else? Yeah. Oh, Gaura Hari Prabhu. Yes.
When you were answering the first question of Purnamasi about Ishtate
Vigyapti.
I was thinking how sometimes when we pray to the Lord like this in our home, open our hearts to the Lord, often we ask the Lord maybe for a favor or for help,
Yeah.
like this. And I recall somewhere in Bhagavatam where there are some prayers that say we should not ask anything to the Lord because He anyway knows what we need, and we should actually not ask anything to the Lord. Could you elaborate a little bit on that, what is most recommended?
Yeah. So the Bhagavatam says, as far as I remember, here it is. Dharmasya yapavargasya narthorthayopakalpate narthasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhaya hi smrita. 1 to 9. Furthermore, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service, this bhakti, should not use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. There are in many indirect ways, the Bhagavatam says don't ask for something material. But the Bhagavatam also says ask for something material if you want to. Akamah sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Gaurari Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead.
So they already have those desires, and with those desires, they should worship Bhagavan. So here is where the Bhagavatam is saying that you can ask. There is no issue. It may not be the highest thing to ask, but certainly it is not forbidden to ask. You are encouraged to be desireless, but not at the cost of genuineness. It's a very important. You are encouraged to be desireless, not at the cost of genuineness. So, in my very early days of Krishna Bhakti, this is one example that I remember from my very early days. It was in 2003. And before that, but much before that, in 1992, my father had invited an astrologer to our home, very good astrologer. And whatever he wrote in the chart, it came true. Literally, word to word, it came true. So when he visited the home, he looked at the chart and he also looked at my palm. And he told my father in front of everybody, he said, this boy, when he will go to his college, he will fail 1 year. So instead of, if the course is for 2 years, he will take 3 years to complete it. So from that day onwards, my father started saying, what's going on? You don't study nicely. So, and in 2003, I was actually pursuing graduation. And when I was in the second year, there was one particular subject which got stuck. There are 3 attempts to clear a subject, and I could not clear the subject in the first attempt. So it was the second attempt. And in the second attempt, I failed again. So finally, it came to the golden attempt. Now, if I fail, the prediction will come true. So I went to Juhu temple, Radha Rasbihari. And in front of Radha Rasbihari, I said, usually I will not come for such a purpose to you. I know the philosophy. I am not supposed to come to you for this. I just need 40 marks to pass. I am not asking for more. See, I also am intelligently praying. If you think you can do something, you do so. I added an if there. All right? Instead of saying you do something, if you want to do something, you do something. So I gave the exam, and the exam was difficult actually. I had to look both sides in order to write my paper. Sanskrit is easy, but those engineering subjects were very difficult. So, at least for me, Sanskrit was relatively easier than that. Anyways, the result came on that, and they used to display the result on the board. So my friend said, "Result has come. Don't you want to go?" I said, "You go and check and tell me how many marks I have scored." So a friend came back and told me, "You scored 38 marks." So then I said, "Okay, astrology is correct finally." So when everybody dispersed, because I didn't want to enter at that time, fear of humiliation in front of friends, I didn't want to enter that time. When everybody dispersed, I went there and I saw the 38 marks. It was written. In the end, it was written passed. And there was a star mark nearby. It said 2 marks are given as grace due to last attempt. So these 2 marks are only given if you have scored 38. There was a special rule. If you have scored 38 and only one subject is remaining, and because of this one subject you will lose 1 year, then 2 marks will be given as grace. So I fit in that category. And here I am today. I cleared in 4 years the course without taking any extra year. So in my life, I I did pray. All right. So this is my Vigyapti to you. I'm opening my heart to you. All right. Yeah. See, once you start expressing your heart, I don't like mechanics so much. I was not. I some one part of me tells me I was not born to do uh, engineering in the material world. So, but due to some reason, I had to do it. But anyways, so this is what. So now, according to you, should I have prayed or not? Yes. You don't want the astrologer's prediction to come true. So sometimes you have genuine desires, and you really need it. So one should definitely pray to Bhagwan, because there's nobody else whom we will go to. All right. So I think there are few minutes remaining, and if Maharaj has something to say, then we will give the mic to Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. There is a very interesting commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I think it's called Bhakti Rasamrita Bindu.
That it's a summarized version.
Summarized. Yes.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu.
Yeah, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. It's a summary. And I read it many years ago. There is one section where it is said that usually devotees do not go to the Lord to ask for material things, like asking an engineer, etc. But in terms of difficulty, then the devotee turns to the Lord, knowing there is no other man who can help them. Then this is considered to be bhakti, because it is a loving relationship. And an example is given, was given that when there is a frightening situation, maybe you sit on a bullock cart and the bullock, the bull goes very speedy, and you are in danger to be rocked off the bullock cart. At that time, if you shout out, "Hey Bhagavan, hey Krishna, save me," and then this is still bhakti.
Yeah.
And so there are a few, there are other examples, but I see you seem to know that.
Yeah.
That is, and we can
Yeah.
have it directly.
Yeah.
So
So this is in his section of Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, and at the very end of Param Karuna Prabhu, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Here is where Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, यथा अत्र अन्याभिलाष शून्यत्वं विहाय अन्याभिलाष स्वभावार्थक ताच्छील्य प्रत्ययन कस्यचित् भक्तस्य. Instead of saying अन्याभिलाष शून्यम, Sri Rupa Goswami has added a tachil suffix, anyabhilash ita. Ita suffix is added, and because of that, adding that suffix, kadachit akasmat, suddenly somewhere, marana sankate prapte, if there is a risk to your life, and the devotee shouts out, "Hey Bhagavan, oh Lord, bhaktam mam etad vipatehe sakashad raksha, rescue me from this dangerous situation." Iti. In this way, kadachit ka abhilash satve, if sometimes there is such a desire, na akshati, there is no harm to the status of uttama bhakti. So this is in the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. But of course, when I had prayed for my engineering, I didn't know this section of the commentary. I was just 1 year, 2 years on the path. I wish I knew it back then. But so this is in the commentary to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Bhakti Sara Pradarshini is the name of the commentary on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So this is where it is. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. All right. So should we pause? It's what o'clock? It's 1 o'clock sharp, German time. So we'll pause here. Okay. Thank you. Should we pause here, or should we continue?
We have lunch at 1:30.
Oh, yeah, sure. We can. I am happy continuing. Okay, yeah. You tell me when to stop. I'm happy. Yes. Oh, wonderful. Lok Pauni Mataji. Let's give her.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your presentation and lecture. It was very beautiful. I wondered, you said that as a sadhaka we should practice the path of mati and aspire for rati. So I'm just interested, what does a person practically do to aspire for rati in their spiritual life?
Wonderful. So, in practical terms, what does a person do to acquire rati in their spiritual life? You see, when a child is born, they have to grow up according to the norms of the society in which they are born. A young child is usually guided by the norms of the society, and that is a healthy way for every child to grow in the society. At a certain age, when the child grows up into a teenager, they suddenly start having some feelings about another person within their heart. These feelings cannot be guided by the society. And there is no fixed way of developing these feelings. So, similarly, a devotee who is new on the path should follow the regulations of Shastra, because they are growing up on the path, they should know the rules and regulations nicely. Due to associating with some devotee who is having rati, it is possible that it may rub off on our hearts and we may also start feeling it. So, it is a matter of feeling some attachment towards Bhagwan. And that cannot be regulated according to any scripture. What can be regulated is already given in Shastra. But what cannot be regulated is the inner attachment towards Bhagwan. Now, how does inner attachment arise? And now, there cannot be a fixed formula for that. If there would be a fixed formula, the acharyas would have written it. Like I was asking, um, where is our Bhagavad Prabhu? Yeah, I was asking yesterday, what is the formula for falling in love? So, is there a formula? No, there is no formula. So, just as in the material world, there is no formula for falling in love. What may work for one person may not work for another person. So, similarly, there is no fixed formula for feeling that attachment to Bhagwan, because it's a very personal thing. And for those who do not feel that attachment, the path of Mati, the Vaidhi Marg, Vidhi Bhakti is always there as a backup for them to continue. But sooner or later, everybody should pray that Rati takes over and then our inner world changes. Otherwise, it's a very dry life for a Gaudiya Vaishnava to not have Rati. What will you do with so much Shastra? You know, it will become burden if there is no Rati. If there is no purpose of living your life without Rati. So, Prema-pattanam vina vyartha daridra jivan, as the Chaitanya Charitamrita says, life is useless without receiving the gift of Rati. So, gradually, when life starts becoming burden, when we start feeling that we need something more, and then suddenly, due to the influence of some sadhu, something rubs on our heart and we feel that initial attachment to Bhagwan, then it is possible that we may be able to walk on that path. So, it is not for wide scale distribution, Rati. Mati is for wide scale distribution, but Rati is for selected few who develop that required attitude. Now, I don't know how better I can explain it to you, because words fall short. Yesterday, I had said Muka Swadanavat. It is like a mute person trying to describe the taste of a very nice food preparation. I don't know how to explain in better words. Yeah.
I ask this because we always, we read in the Shastras, and when we speak in the association of the devotees, we often say we are not qualified. So even if you maybe have these emotions, you think maybe I imagined something because you're not sure, and that's why you say like there's no formula, and then it like depends on your feelings, but you're not sure whether this is
How
an imagination or is it reality.
am I imagining things, or is this reality? Yeah, that's a very important question. And this is one major doubt that keeps people away from walking on the path. How do you know whether it is some material imagination? Better not to do it rather than being unsure. So, there's a very elegant answer to that, and I'll try to speak something on those lines. Uh, at any point of time, no devotee will say that I am qualified. None of the six Goswamis have said that we are qualified. I will show you a verse from Sri Rupa Goswami. This is from Srila Rupa Goswami's Stavamala. Prachinanam bhajanam atulam dushkaram shrunvato me nairashyena jvalati hridayam bhakti lesha alasasya. Wonderful verse in the Mandakranta meter. I am too weak and too lazy to do even the smallest devotional service. So when I hear of the peerless and difficult to perform services performed by the great devotees in ancient times, my heart burns with despair. Please raise your hands. How many of you feel exactly like Sri Rupa Goswami? Oh, wonderful. So, in terms of honesty, we are sitting in the same boat. You are also having the same honesty if you express such feelings. Sri Rupa Goswami is also being honest. He is not being dishonest here. He is also being honest when he says this. But then why is Sri Rupa Goswami eligible for Raganuga Bhakti, and why is he practicing it day in and day out, even after having these thoughts? Now we come to the crux of the question. Can a person practice Raganuga Bhakti when they feel such disqualifications about themselves? Or can a person engage in remembrance of Bhagwan when they feel such disqualifications about themselves? Remembrance of Bhagwan is a part of Vaidhi Bhakti, actually. In the 9 limbs of Bhakti, Smaranam is one of the 9 limbs. So the practice of Smaranam should begin at the very beginning, there should be remembrance of Bhagwan. But in the very beginning, if somebody puts a roadblock saying, how do you know whether this is real or imagination? Then we should tackle that question in the very beginning of our spiritual life. Today I am tackling that question. Dear devotees, please hear, those of you who want to understand whether it is imagination or not. I will ask a very simple question. I will show from previous year. I will show from the presentation that I had given here in Golokadham. Perhaps, yeah. Here is the doubt. What is the difference between genuine smaran and imagination? Answer: just as the difference between uttering genuine naam and uttering empty syllables, naam akshar. So I ask you a question. Huh? You have the mic? Yes. Every day when you sit down to chant naam, how do you know it is naam and not simply syllables? No, it's a very serious question. How do you know it's a real bullet and not an empty shell? Okay. How do you know it is genuine naam and not just akshar, not just syllables? Because that same question is applicable also to smaran, remembrance. Okay. So, here is a DT. The devotees, can anybody identify which DT this is? Okay, Radha Madan Mohan. Which DT is this? Radha Go. Huh? This is Radha Damodar. Okay, and which DT is this? This is Radha Madhav in Sridham Mayapur. Now, all these DTs were carved by their respective artists. Do all of them look the same or do all of them look different? Say clearly and loudly. Which one of them is Krishna? Please think about it very carefully. Which one of them is mental speculation and which one of them is Krishna? None of them is mental speculation. Krishna looks 3 different types. I think I should have given this seminar again. Okay. Here is a painting which Srila Prabhupada commissioned, got it done from his disciples. Is Krishna present in the painting, dear devotees? Yes. If I take a photograph of the painting, will Krishna be present there? Yes. If I take a photograph of that photograph, will Krishna be present there? Yes. So, which one of this is Krishna? All are Krishna. Areva. So, yeah, yes. What I wish to say is, I'm sorry. I think we are getting late. No, no, okay. I'm giving some pauses so that devotees can. Um, but what I'm trying to say is, when a deity is, when we get a carved image of Bhagwan and we bring it to the temple, there is a ceremony performed which is called Pran Pratishtha. And what Pran Pratishtha does is, in Sanskrit there is a term for it. The term for it is called, dear devotees, Atidesh. Please repeat. Atidesh. And Atidesh means an exact copy of the spiritual world is brought into the temple, and all the qualities of the spiritual world are invested into the temple. So the temple becomes non-different from the spiritual world by this principle. What is the name of the principle, dear devotees? Atidesh. And since this is now non-different from the spiritual world, in the center of the spiritual world there is Krishna. So in the center of the temple there is the deity. So by the similar principle of Atidesh, all the qualities of Bhagwan Shri Krishna are replicated within the deity, irrespective of how the deity looks. Now, deities are of 8 types. Now, what are the 8 types of deities? I will specify. Shaili Darumai Lauhi Lepya Lekhya Cha Saikati Manomai Manimai Pratimashta Vidha Smrita. Kindly read the translation.
The deity form of the Lord is said to appear in 8 varieties: stone, wood, metal, earth, paint, sand, the mind, or dream.
Oh, the mind is also. So the deity of Bhagwan can also appear in one particular way, and that is where, dear devotees, the mind. So a deity which is made out of an image which is made out of stone is turned into a deity by one process. Which process is that, dear devotees? I spoke the term. What is the term? Atidesh. Atidesh or Pran Pratishtha. So by Atidesh, if a stone image can be turned into a deity, similarly by Atidesh, the mental impressions that one has about Bhagwan are directly impressions of Bhagwan. And therefore Sri Rupa Goswami specifies, Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai. Actually, no form of Krishna can be grasped by any material senses, including your mind. Any form you are thinking of, material form, is not actually a form of Krishna. Is not actually a form of Krishna. In the commentary to Brahma Samhita, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada says, the color blue in this world is not the color of Bhagwan, Sri Krishna. So any form that you have in your mind is not actually a form of Bhagwan. But seva unmukhe, if your intention is seva, then Bhagwan descends on the form and becomes non-different from that form. And this is known as Atidesh. So therefore you see different poets describing Krishna in different ways. Some poets describe Krishna as blue sapphire. Some describe him as a dark rain cloud. Are all of them talking about Krishna, or are all of them imagining things? What are they doing? Talking about Krishna. So Krishna is present in their minds by this principle of Atidesh. So this is what Srila Jiva Goswami has explained to us. So it's not mental speculation when you are following the Smaran Paddhatis or manuals and guidelines of remembrance given by the 6 Goswamis. Nobody can call it mental speculation. So that is the answer to the question. This Atidesh is perhaps one of the most important principles that should be taught in the very beginning, so that devotees don't have any doubts about this on their journey. Otherwise, decades are lost in the confusion as to whether I am imagining things or not. Every deity is also an imagination of the person who carved it. It is only by Atidesh that it becomes non-different from Bhagwan. Similarly, every mental image that you have of Bhagwan is also carved by you in your mind. It is only by Atidesh seva, the mood of seva, that it becomes non-different from Bhagwan. That is the answer to your query. Right?
Please excuse me. This concept of Atidesh, I remember from last year. I think you supplied the reference last year.
Yeah.
Could
I'll supply the reference again. Okay. This is from the Bhagavad Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami. He is giving the 9 characteristics of Vaikuntha, and this is characteristic number 5, the 5th characteristic of the eternal spiritual world. Please repeat after me, dear devotees. Laukika Bhagavan Niketasyapi Tad Aveshan Nairgunyam Ati Dishyate. Now you can see Srila Jiva Goswami's own words. He is using the term Ati Dishyate. Ati Desh is what Srila Jiva Goswami is saying. Now we first need to understand what is the dictionary meaning of Ati Desh. So I am showing the dictionary meaning of Ati Desh from the famous lexicographer Apte, Sanskrit lexicographer Apte. He says something about Atidesh. The devotees, you can see here what is the meaning of Atidesh. Transfer, assigning qualities, etc. This is known as Atidesh. So Atidesh means completely transferring one set of qualities to another entity, but the original entity also doesn't lose their qualities. So this is what is Atidesh. And Sri Jiva Goswami says, Laukika Bhagavan Niketa. In this material world also there are temples of Bhagavan. Tad Aveshat, by performing Pran Pratishtha, Nairgunyam Atidishyate. We consider this temple also as free from the material modes of nature by this principle of Atidesh. And so the personality at the center of the temple is also free from the 3 modes of nature by the principle of Atidesh. And so the personality within the mind also is free from the 3 modes of nature by the principles of Atidesh. Why? Because the inclination is seva. I did not perform smaran to cheat myself. I was performing smaran for seva, not for cheating myself. Since seva unmukhe, because the inclination is seva, swayam eva sphurati. Bhagavan himself appears on the pathways of such a mind. So therefore, this is the principle of Atidesh as mentioned by Srila Jiva Goswami in the Sandarbhas. And there is something which Srila Prabhupada used to say about Sandarbhas. Prabhuji, can you read what Prabhupada says?
Jiva Goswami has got 6 sandarbhas.
Theses.
Theses, Bhagavad Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, Tattva Sandarbha, Priti Sandarbha, like that. So these books are. I don't think it is published in English. So these sandarbhas are so philosophically discussed that throughout the whole world, there is not a single philosopher who can defy these Jiva Goswami's 6 sandarbhas. This is
Gaudiya Sampradaya. This is our Gaudiya Sampradaya. Srila Prabhupada is very clear. This is our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And there is no philosopher on the planet who can defy the philosophical vision and integrity of Srila Jiva Goswami. So whenever you want to understand philosophically from the depths of the subject matter, there is one personality to approach. And which personality is that? Srila Jiva Goswami. He will teach what is Atidesh. And after learning from him, you will not have any doubt about anything. Dear devotees, this is what it is. These branches behind me, they are trees from the material world, or they are Vrindavan trees? How? I'm sure they must have been picked from locally, isn't it? Huh? Are these locally sourced trees, or were they bought from Vrindavan?
I think Hari can go to the Vrindavan direct.
Oh, acha. Gaurari Prabhu, where did we source the? Wow. So you just collect some random trees and they become Vrindavan. Huh? By which principle? Atidesh.
I'm so sorry. Is this Bhagavad Sandhava?
Bhagavad Sandarbha. Yeah, this is Bhagavad Sandarbha. In the edition this is 49th Anuched in the Bhagavad Sandarbha. And that Anuched begins with the phrase Atha Shri Vaikuntha Lokasyapi. 9 qualities of Vaikuntha are described in that Anuched. Okay. Yes. Do we have time, Gaur Hari Prabhu? Last question. Okay.
If we follow the Srimad Patatis of the six Goswamis, is that equivalent to Seva, developing this Seva Mukhi Jivatu, this Seva path? Is it guaranteed that if we study these and follow these, then we will definitely have this Seva path that will make Atidesh possible?
Seva is what makes Atidesh possible. Seva unmukhe. Only when the inclination is Seva. That is when Swayam Eva Spurati. Bhagwan becomes non-different from the images within the mind or within the temple. That is the principle of Atidesh. Following the previous acharyas is also one of the 64 limbs of bhakti, which is the fourth limb of bhakti. Sadhu Vartmanu Vartanam is the fourth limb of bhakti. Atha Angani, Sri Rupa Goswami says, Guru Padashrayastasma Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam Vishrambhena Guru Seva Sadhu Vartmanu Vartanam. Limb number 1, Guru Padashrayas. Take shelter of the feet of a Guru. Second limb, Tasmat Krishna Diksha Adi. Take Diksha. And Shikshanam, also take Shiksha from the Guru. Third limb, Vishrambhena Guru Seva. Serve the Guru with confidence. Fourth limb, Sadhu Vartma. The path of the previous sadhus, Anuvartanam. Walk on that path. This itself is devotional service. It is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. How can it not be seva? And when you are following it, you are seva unmukh. Seva unmukhe hi jivvadav swayam eva spurati. As soon as there is unmukta, there is inclination for seva. Because even the inclination to follow the previous acharyas is seva, as indicated here. Even the inclination to follow the previous sadhus is seva. So this is very clearly indicated here. And the fourth limb amongst the 64 limbs of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. And very quickly, Sri Rupa Goswami gives a praman for this. Samrigya Shreya Samhetu Pantha Santap Varjita Anavapta Shramam Purve Yena Santah Pratasthire. Samrigya, this path should be searched out. Shreyasam hetu, this path is giving the greatest benefit. Panthaha, this path, Santapa Varjita, is free from all headache. Which path? Anavapta Shramam Purve, that path which was effortlessly traversed previously. Santaha Pratasthire, by the great souls. Walk on that path. This path should be sought out in life. Directly Sri Rupa Goswami is saying here. Black and white. This is what is the pristine conclusion of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. To even have the inclination to follow the previous acharyas is devotional service. What to speak of actually following them. Alright? So, that is the conclusion. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. इससे खांसी रुकी. खांसी आई एक बार.